Hiring student assistants and federal work-study students in solar. Click slide to advance. Student employment coordinators, create assignments for student assistants. These assignments are paid from your state account. And federal work-study, these assignments are paid from student awards. They also appoint eligible students into these assignments in solar, approve timesheets, and print rosters and reports. Student employment is accessed from solar. When you log into solar, you will see two new sections on the home page: Manage Student Workforce and Student Timesheets. If you do not see these sections, request access from the Human Resources Services Student Payroll Department. For help and for answers to questions, please see our online documentation or contact someone in the HRS Student Payroll Department or the HRS Student Employment Department. They are there to help you. The Student Employment Handbook is updated every semester and contains the policies and procedures governing federal work-study and student assistant programs. This presentation will only cover the basics. Student employment coordinators create assignments under their prospective department ID. Student salaries are disbursed against an account code. Sometimes your department ID and account code is the same, but not always. If you do not know your department ID, ask a colleague, find your department ID from an account code in solar, or call the HRS Student Payroll Department to find the right student for the job. Post jobs in ZebraNet, and participate in job fairs. Students will submit their resumes and then supervisors can interview and select desired candidates for the assignments. Once a candidate has been selected, they must be cleared to work. Check the clearance page in solar to see if the student is cleared to work in the upcoming term. If the student is cleared, you can appoint them into the assignment. If not, reasons will be posted and the student cannot be appointed at this time. Understanding term codes. For example, spring semester 2013 is indicated by the code 1134. To understand the code, ignore the first number, 1. The middle numbers, 13, indicates the year. And the last number indicates the semester, which is 4 for spring, 6 for summer, and 8 for fall. Students should not work unless completely cleared. Otherwise there can be a liability or penalization to both the student and the university. Reasons why a student cannot be cleared are listed in the Hiring Students Help document. The messages on the clearance page are warnings, errors, or there will be a message stating the student is ready to be hired. Warnings mean that students can be appointed into assignments but must clear up some issues with HR. Errors mean the student cannot be appointed at this time. It is up to the student to reconcile his or her own clearance issues before the system will allow you to appoint them. Here is a list of common errors you may run into. If the student has an error on his or her clearance page, the system will not let you appoint the student into the assignment at this time. Warnings on the clearance page will allow you to appoint the student into an assignment, but they must be attended to. These are usually I-9 form issues. I-9 forms must be submitted to the Student Employment Department within 3 days of hire or the student will be terminated. Email reminders are sent out to supervisors if they are not received before the student enters his or her first timesheet on solar. An authorized signatory will be notified if there are any errors on the I-9 form. All errors must be corrected before the form can be processed. An updated form is also necessary if the employee has not been on the payroll for more than a year. You will not see this on the clearance page, but you will receive an email from the HR department to remind you that one needs to be completed. International students must be cleared by the Visa and Immigration Services Department. They are restricted to a maximum of 20 hours per week while classes are in session. They can work overtime during spring break and summer. The system only monitors this during the fall and spring academic year, not summer. Students and supervisors must make sure the student does not exceed their limit during the summer sessions. Summer session requirements. Student assistants must be enrolled in summer or upcoming fall classes, matriculated in a degree or certificate, can work more than 40 hours in the summer, and may receive overtime pay. Federal work-study students must be enrolled for at least 3 credits in summer session 2, matriculated in a degree or certificate, have received an award for federal work-study in the summer, and can never receive overtime pay. Students in the National Student Exchange Program will be eligible to work in the summer. The student work week is listed in the payroll schedule found in Solar. The student work week starts on a Wednesday and ends on a Thursday. The timesheet approval deadline is that Friday by 5 p.m. or approved hours will be on the next paycheck. In order to create a new assignment, you need to copy an existing one. The new assignment can be edited as needed. There are 2 job codes to choose from when creating an assignment. One for a student assistant assignment and the other is for a federal work-study assignment. Only students with a federal work-study financial aid award can be hired into a federal work-study assignment. Lastly, 2 or more timesheet authorizers must be entered when creating a new assignment. From the clearance page, click the link to appoint the student into an assignment. Only students with a sufficient federal work-study balance can be appointed into a federal work-study assignment. If a federal work-study student is appointed into a student assistant assignment, he or she will be paid out of your department code budget, not the student's financial aid award. The system will not let you appoint a student into a federal work-study assignment if he or she does not have an award to use. Note, you can change the job code, if necessary, prior to filling the assignment. Students must fill out their timesheets in Solar each day they report to work. To approve timesheets, student employment coordinators can click on Approve Timesheets in Solar. Timesheet corrections can also be made on this page. Timesheets must be approved on the Friday at 5 p.m. at the end of the payroll period. Rules on maximum hours a student can work. Students may work up to 40 hours if no other restrictions exist. The maximum hours a student can work is in Solar on the clearance page, and on the timesheet. This is the total for all jobs a student works on campus. Students will be subject to FICA once they exceed 20 hours worked. When classes are not in session, and in summer, students may work more than 40 hours and receive overtime pay if no other restrictions apply. Federal work-study balance. Supervisors must be aware of their students' federal work-study balance at all times. The balance is displayed on the clearance page, on the FWS balance page, on the roster that comes with student paychecks, and student employment coordinators and the students themselves will receive a message in Solar when the balance drops below $250. Students will get an error when logging in hours that exceed this balance. If they are going to continue to work after they have exhausted their award, you must terminate the federal work-study assignment and then appoint the student into a student assistant assignment. Updates you can make to filled assignments. You can change timesheet authorizers, and the job skills and description fields. Updates you cannot make to filled assignments. You must send an email to HRS Student Payroll for changes in hourly rate, for pay raises, and mail drop, which is where students' paychecks go. Please do not create new assignments for these. For changes to the account code, which is the account that pays the student, or the job code, you must terminate the current assignment, create a new assignment, and then appoint the student into the new assignment. Terminating an appointment. The end date for fall to spring assignments for student assistant positions is mid-May, on a Wednesday. The date can be found in the payroll schedule. For federal work-study assignments, it is June 30th. To terminate the student before the end date, indicate the last day worked on the end student assignment page. The student will not be able to enter hours beyond this end date. Extending an appointment. Students can be extended in their existing appointment to a consecutive term only. The appointment extension must be completed before the last day of the current term, which is starting May 1st for summer and August 1st for fall. Otherwise, their assignment will end, and then you must hire them into a new one. Important, this update takes 24 hours to appear in Solar. Check that the assignment was updated the next day. Old assignments will remain on your list of active assignments even after the end date has passed. They will be moved automatically to the inactive assignment list the following fall. Paychecks are picked up by an authorized signatory on payday. Make sure all students know where to pick up paychecks in your department. Have students sign the check roster that is distributed with the paychecks, and then keep this for your records. If a student does not pick up his or her paycheck, you can mail it. If a student does not pick up his or her advice, wait 2 pay periods, then, you can return it to Human Resource Services when you pick up another batch of checks. There are a few reasons why a student did not receive a paycheck. Students will be paid on the following pay period if the student did not input their hours on time, or a supervisor did not approve the timesheet before the deadline, which is Friday 5 p.m. In addition, if the student works in more than one department, the check is sent to the first department in which the student began working. Call HRS Student Payroll if you have any questions. Lost paychecks. The student will need to file out a lost paycheck form, which is available on the HR website, or go to HRS room 390 in the administration building. A replacement check takes 4 to 6 weeks. The student will be contacted when the replacement check is available to be picked up. The student must bring photo ID. Why risk it? Sign up for direct deposit today.